you're on a business trip. You guys are businessmen. You're doing your thing. You're traveling. You meet this beautiful girl. She's classy. She's successful. She's smart. You really enjoy her company. She's 27 years old. She's an accountant. She makes $100 grand a year, and she has a 3-year-old son. The good news is he's potty trained. Where do you gentlemen with no kids that I know about go from here? McQueen.
She's done. She's just getting hit and that's it.
So you're banging her.
Yeah, for sure.
And then what happens?
And then sayonara, bitch, you know?
That's
Would
it.
you like her to get in her pants, or would you be like, yeah, I'm only here to, like...
Well, I mean, if I, do I know that she has a kid from the get-go?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Then, yeah, no, I mean, I'm just immediately just trying to fuck. That's it, for sure.
That's
No,
it.
would
So
you
that
tell
is-
her that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
David, you meet this girl. What do you do?
I made this mistake last time and found out the hard way. That's actually kind of how I came upon some of these podcasts about the
Really?
red pill stuff. Yeah.
What was the situation?
I'm sorry.
Single mom, had been divorced. I think the problem is that men look at that very differently than the women do. It's hard to get our perspectives to be aligned, right? So her perspective was very defensive. It wasn't, I made bad choices in life that brought me here. I'm grateful someone's given me a chance. It was, my kid's amazing. I'm amazing. You're lucky to be here. It was very hard to get on the perspective I had, which was, this is definitely not ideal. I'm going out of my comfort zone. I'm expecting quite a bit of appreciation on it. And they were like, I don't owe you anything.
Thanks, feminism,
Some other guys,
right? Am I right?
And
I'm with my man 100%. It'd be different. I'm getting a little bit older now, but when I was younger, single mothers were humble. They knew that a man coming into her situation to help raise her children, that it wasn't a fair deal. And so those women would overcompensate by genuinely being humble. Nowadays, a lot of single mothers look at you, like my man stated, as if she's doing you a favor by dating her and her children. And it's asinine.
it was like, that was a bad investment.
Troy, you're at the club. You meet this gorgeous girl. You know her situation. She's got the 3-year-old. His name's Dylan, by the way.
Oh, nice
What are
name.
you doing with the girl?
I mean, look, personally, for me, I wouldn't want to get into something serious with a woman who has a kid. That's just no disrespect to single mothers. That's just in my life. That's just not something that I would want to take on. So it would have to be casual, and I would make that pretty clear up front.
You'd be up front. You're not going to do the McQueen approach where you just gotcha, bitch.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, look. I mean, the way that I tend to move, I'm not going to be sitting down with her and if this is kind of a one-night stand situation, sitting down to sort of, right, just to be clear, these are the terms of our engagement. I'm not going to be that sort of specific about it, but she's going to kind of know from my vibe. She's going to get the idea, because I'm traveling a lot anyway, do you know what I mean? So the whole setup is not going to be one that is likely to be leading towards something long-term. So that would be my answer. I mean, effectively the same as McQueen's, but I'd probably soften the blow a little bit.
Kevin, do you have a different response?
I don't avoid single moms. I've dated a few single moms, but I've found a selfish trait amongst most of them. There's not one single mom that I haven't dated who has not said something to the effect of, what's important about you being around is I want my kid to see his or her mother being loved right. And I'm like, what do you want? Make out in front of the kid? He's already confused enough as it is. He's wondering, where's dad and who the fuck is this? That's all the kid is wondering. Any of us that had step parents and shit, most of us met our step parents like 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody's drunk, and it's like, son, Jim is here because your father ain't shit. And it's like very confusing. So I really do take children and their youth and upbringing and innocence very serious. So really, I don't give a shit what the mom wants. I'm thinking in terms of like, what's best for the kid that you have. I'll think for your kid before you do and think all this is gonna bring him is confusion. You need to completely keep these worlds separate. If you're gonna fuck with
So
me.
you're saying that she should not date anymore?
No,
Or
but-
she's saying she should stay with the guy?
No,
What's your
but a lot
solution?
of them are probably not you because you're, a savage
like,
and
I'm
shit.
very
Yeah, no, I know you're
invested in
different
this
in every way, and that's
situation.
why everybody loves you. But I mean, no, but this eagerness to like find the replacement stepdaddy thing is. I've never not come.
Last question for
A lot of women just need to realize, and I had to have this conversation with my ex-wife as well. A lot of women have to realize that they have to wait until their children are 18, majority of them to date. And a lot of women just don't want to accept that. And he's right. So many women try to mix that world. You will meet women and they'll tell you, you won't meet my children, yada, yada, yada. It's going to be a long time before that happens. Then if they start liking you within a few weeks, they're shoving their children down your throat, man. The best way, in my opinion, is to keep those worlds separate. Wait until your children are adults to date. Women don't want to do that.
the guys, and then I'm going to turn it over to the girls. Would it be different? Would you have a different perspective if you actually had a kid already?
Yeah.
So you're almost doing like a Brady Bunch situation.
Yeah, but I
These
don't.
guys don't.
No.
So no?
No.
So you're just not trying to raise someone else's kid?
No, because it's like, now, if I have my own kid, now I got 2 little niggas I gotta take care of.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
And same thing. Now my kid's wondering where's mom and who's this thought.
Got it.
Same thing.
Troy, if you had a
Confuse the
kid, would you
children.
be a little more comfortable?
No, because I came from my parents divorced, and then we got sort of put together into another family, and I mean, that was problematic. It's not always like Kevin was saying. I mean, when you think about the kids in these situations being brought up, that there can be a lot of problems in those situations. So I would be even if I had a kid, I'd be very wary about just sort of like
Gotcha.
shoving
Ladies,
it together.
Here's where I need your help. How many people here have kids? Tracy,
Only 2.
Janelle.
Put a green
So there's
light.
2 of you
They're
ladies.
like, damn it.
I'm surprised only 2.
Don't look around. Look right at me. Raise your red or your green. Should men date single moms? Hold it up high. Hold it up high. Pixie, we have. Okay, guys, I don't flicker it.
They're in between.
We have red, we have green, 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 green. So most of it is green. 4 or 5 of you is red. So Tracy, you put your green up
Yes.
because you're a single mom.
Yes.
Sell us on why one of these gentlemen should be your new boy toy, baby daddy situation.
No, I think that there's people in the world for everybody. I don't think anyone should be my son's father. I think someone that's going to come to my life will love me and eventually end up loving my son, but I am not looking for a baby daddy. I am
Okay.
looking for a partner.
I'm listening
And
very
that's the
closely
difference.
to this one.
So,
So nobody's replacing that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
so what would you say to the guy that's like, I don't even know, you're hot, you're cool, you're great. I can't even get over the fact that you have a kid, and as dope as you are, I'm mentally blocked.
then
It's kinda
that
what you're
means that
saying here?
that's not the person for me.
Not really what I was saying.
I-
but
I absolutely knew she was going to say that. They all say that.
Okay.
Can I jump on what
Sure,
you
yeah.
said? Because I have a lot to say, and I'll be brief, but I want to make a few points. First of all, you guys are all obviously talented and very much so respected in your fields, including yourself. And I know your battle with having children back and forth. But
What's my battle?
Well, you said you're ambivalent.
I'm gonna have kids one day
Yeah,
with
one
the-
day,
with
but
the-
like
with the lady.
when you're always like asking your friends, you really like it? Like, you know.
What's sex, guys? I've
Okay.
never heard of this
Anyway.
thing. What do you do with these
Complimenting
girls?
us because
What
you're
else?
about
They're
to say
naked. I
something
have
What
no
I
fucked
will
up.
clue.
say,
Yeah.
first of all, as there's a lot of single moms who have given single moms like myself a really bad rap. And they use men for resources, and they put their children before their serious committed persons, whoever, if they're married or not, before their needs, like their spouse's needs, right? And I don't agree with that if it's a long-term serious thing. So I think that that's to be said for why probably a lot of you, and more reason you said, I don't want to raise two kids. And that's honest, and I appreciate that. However, what I will say, the men that I've met and that I've dated and that have proposed to me, they wanted to marry me and they wanted to be a stepfather to my son if I wanted that, right?
Why didn't you marry these men?
Now, the thing about me that's different from most women is even though I'm very masculine in how I'm speaking now, because I'm trying to make a point, I'm very feminine. And I let the man take the lead. And I don't try to say, my son and I are so cool, we're the best. No, I let a man be gracious to me because I'm feminine and I serve his needs. I make sure his sexual needs are served. I make sure that his tummy is full. And my son never goes without, trust me. He's been to 14, 15 countries already.
Yeah.
Men don't care about your son traveling.
So I think the difference is that some men, no disrespect to y'all,
Right.
are not cut out for that because it takes a very extremely high alpha man, I think, that would be willing to say, listen, I saw all of you grimace. I watched all your facial expressions.
Because what you just did here, and everyone needs to recognize this is sign language. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. She's going to shame men by saying that you have to have a specific type of alpha trait, insinuating that the men who don't want to wife up single mothers, that they aren't alpha men. It's clear sign language. That's why the men reacted on the stage in the fashion in which they did. Fellas, you have to be able to recognize this. And again, I don't listen when women try to describe what traits of an alpha male. You're a woman. You have no idea what you're talking about. Because men, what we'll say is that a trait of a dude who will wife up a single mother is a beta, is a simp. Why she would call that same man an alpha.
Hold on, let me finish momentarily.
Me and Troy was
That
neck
will
and
be
neck.
willing to step in and raise someone else's son. That takes a very brave, bold man, and there are men out there in the world who will do it when they see the value of a woman that's serving them and saying, listen, yes.
Did you say that there were men that openly came into your life and wanted
Yes.
to help raise your kid?
Yes. Why
didn't-
Where are they now?
Well, I was going to tell
Why
you.
didn't they make the cut?
Well, first
These
of
niggas are so alpha.
hold on. First of all, I didn't choose that, and here's why. And I won't get into my personal. I'll just give you one example. He's very famous. He's in the personal development world. He's on Tony Robbins' stage, more than Tony is. So if you know the Tony Robbins world, you know who he is, and he's your color. Anyways, he was a lot older than me, and he didn't want to have more children, and I do. I'm going to have at least 1 or 2 more. So for me, that was he was very invested in my son, but I said, you know what? I'm waiting for that person who wants to build our own family too. He adopts my son and we have one together. And so that's what I'm doing. And so I'm right now choosing to give my son a beautiful life. He travels with me around the world. I run my business. He gets to go to my retreats, etc. And that's what I do. And so I know I'm rare, but I do think it's a huge missed opportunity that men are passing on really good single moms like myself because they feel some type of way about it. And
all the single mothers think that they're rare. They all think that they're the exceptions. Yeah, she sounds like she actually has a career, opposed to so many women who come on social media and say they have a career where they sell feet pictures on OnlyFans. This woman might actually have a career. That's about the only difference. But she's still regurgitating the same tropes about her being the exception and alleging that so many men have proposed to her, but she's never been married.
and like she said, that's your prerogative. But you're also missing the most feminine, nurturing woman on the planet, or that I've been told.
That a girl, Troy, and then I'm gonna come back to you ladies for a question. Go ahead.
So I completely respect what you said, and you're a very inspiring woman, and it's great to hear you say that. I mean, my comment on that is, firstly, what you're doing is what a lot of women will do, which is kind of recontextualizing what alpha is.
Exactly.
So I'll say, no, an alpha man, a stepdad is a man who steps up. The guy who's prepared to take on my children. That's my definition of alpha. Okay, so you're defining alpha as that. Is that the actual objective definition of alpha? Maybe not. Maybe you could argue that the guy who just goes around the world and smashes a load of girls and has a fantastic time, is that not alpha? You would argue not, because that's irresponsible, but that's another type of alpha. So that's the first thing. Secondly, I was actually on another podcast last night. I'm talking to one of the girls there. She's got a couple of kids, okay? And she said that she's just recently got together with a dude, okay? They've been together 2 months. It's a long distance relationship, okay? Because he's in a different state. And he's already said to her, I want to marry you and I want to look after your kids after 2 months. Is that the action of an alpha male? Or is that the action of a guy who's needy and is saying that because he's desperate to secure the box?
That's different from my scenario. We dated
completely different to your scenario,
but
I'm just saying that somebody saying I'm prepared to look after your kids is not in itself necessarily indicative of alpha traits. It could actually be indicative of the opposite.
Let me get McQueen's thoughts here. McQueen, are you being sold on becoming?
No, he's not. He doesn't want.
Absolutely not.
He doesn't want to take care.
I'm not hearing none of this shit, really.
You got the simplest answers.
Yeah,
you're not playing this game.
No, because it's just like, how you going to tell me I'm not alpha because I don't want to raise your fucking kids?
Exactly.
Like, all right.
He doesn't want to raise his own.
Yeah, like, all right, fine.
I feel like a really solid alpha it can put up a really good risk-benefit analysis, right?
There you go.
So if the woman is a great exception to the rule, you freaking head over heels more than anything you've ever felt in your life, that could be different.
Yeah.
But for the average single mother that you meet, a very basic risk-benefit analysis that you could look on data that's already available, you could look at the situation that you're presented with, probably not the safest route to go.
I think.
Bro, thank you. We got a woman with some sense.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
Exactly.
The truth is, that's what we're all doing.
And that's
every
what
day.
Right, and that's a normal thing to do. That's a responsible thing to do, and I think that's what an alpha would do at the end of the day.
And no one's telling the other side that this shows up as a debit on the ledger, so you're going to have to make up for it in another side, because that's distasteful. It creates an argument.
It's
and
true.
I think we grimace.
Well, a
because
lot
it
of
came
people do
across.
that. I mean, they'll say, "Oh, that I don't count because I have a kid," and I'm
No,
like, that, "You don't
it's not that
count
you don't
because
count.
you said that comment."
There's lots of things that aren't ideal.
But it's
But
also
you can make educated
next to
decisions.
Most
Still.
women in their 20s, and I will surpass all of them in regards to the characteristics that I bring to a man
I
and
believe
to
that.
his life.
No, I'll say something. I'll go ahead and throw it out there. If you come with someone else's child, yes, you do come already in the debt department.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
And I'm saying that as a male or female. If you have someone's child, I'm divorced. I have one son that's 17 years old. If I meet someone, they have to be willing to accept that baggage. But the issue is nobody wants to be real about that. Yes, if you have a child, if you're not a childless person, that's why people should aim to remain childless until they find their husband and their wife. If you bring a child to a relationship that's not that person's child, you come into the relationship in the hole.
Let me get Tracy
Thank you
back
for
in the
that.
mix, because Tracy, you're so nice and sweet. And you have a kid. How old is your kid?
My son is 4.
Your son is 4.
Yeah.
What's it been like bringing dudes around your kid?
I don't bring dudes around my
Ever.
kids. Ever.
That's the
Never.
answer.
No.
I'd say.
So no
Exactly.
guy has.
I have my friends, people that he knows
Okay.
growing up, but I do not bring men that are temporary in my life around my son.
Okay, so
Because
what
you-
would it take to, like, how quickly do you tell a guy you have a kid?
Tell him off the
Right
top.
away.
Right away.
Yeah.
I think that's smart.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no
You have
point
to.
if he's just like, yeah, I'm out.
It's like if
I'm
you
not,
have
I'm
an
not
STI.
looking for somebody to think I don't have that.
Got it.
I'm proud of that.
I think
As you should be.
Yeah, I don't
No
need
doubt.
it.
You should
Yeah.
not feel
If it's
shame
a-
because you have a
like I
kid.
said-
That should be
like
the
I said,
proudest thing you have.
100%. I am.
Right.
That's the
Yeah, because that's
best
part of
thing
the
I've
problem
ever
is
done.
that everyone talks about the number one job a woman should have. The most important job is being a mother. Now, relationships sometimes don't work out, but you shouldn't be shamed because you have a kid. You should be definitely proud of having your kid. But how complicated is it finding a partner as being a single mother?
Well, it all depends on where you are in your life, right? Because for me personally, I'm in a point in my life right now where I'm not looking. Yes, I'm single. I'm not looking. I'm expecting for when I'm ready emotionally to bring somebody on board, that will come with it.
Got
So
it.
whenever that happens is when I'll allow that
So
space
last
for
piece of
myself.
advice before we move on. There's dudes out there. Like, I'll give you one story. I was seeing this girl, was like on 1 or 2, I didn't really realize she had a kid, but then I found out she did. But I was like, this girl's that awesome of a girl. Hold on, Tiff. There's that awesome of a girl that I was like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. Let me see where this goes.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. You know, we hung out one time, it was great. The second time we go to hang out, she goes, hey, sorry, I have to cancel. Both of my kids are sick.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to cancel. I'm like, it's not even you canceling. It's because Dylan over here got a tummy ache, and I stay over there, woman. Nope, she's there. Stay there. It's that she got canceled. She canceled because of her kid. I'm like, this is really weird. I'm out. I hope your kid feels better. Here's some Tums for the tummy ache. Peace out. Boom. So that was the problem. So what's your final piece of advice to guys considering dating a single mother?
Go for it.
Well,
Go for it.
No.
Her first or me? Her
Go
first?
ahead. Her and then Janelle, final word.
So for me is you have to take a lot into consideration that a woman, the child doesn't make her. So, a woman can give you a lot of things, and what
not
a
true.
woman with a kid can give you is a lot of experience. So you won't have to deal with the bullshit because we've been through that already. So
Got
we're
it.
very straightforward, and we'll get to the point. We want what we want, and that's it.
I feel like a good mother will prioritize their kid no matter what, though, right? And so
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
man, if you're not okay with that, if you want to be number
Because-
one, you're not going to be down with
Because
that.
even in
Okay,
conventional.
hold on. We gotta go to the next one. Janelle, final word,
Yes.
10 seconds. Why
Okay.
should a guy sell me on dating a single mother? 10 seconds.
Here's why. Because a lot of men are dissatisfied in their sexual life when they get into committed long-term relationships. Women are selfless. They pushed a child almost 8 pounds out of their yoni with no drugs.
That doesn't make you selfless. That means you have functioning sexual organs.
We are selfless. So we'll be that much more selfless with my partner. I treat my partner the same way I do my son, minus the sexual
So what
stuff.
I'm understanding is single moms better be a little more
They can be-
frisque in order to keep that man around.
What I'm saying is they have
Okay.
the ability to be very selfless and put that man first.
Every
and put
guy that has
Got
a
it.
kid with his wife is screaming right now, saying that's not what happened.
I said they have the ability to. do
Because
that.
even,
Well,
even
right
in
there,
conventional
well, right there.
marriages, there's often the case where the husband will say, no, the sex has tailed off, now we've had the kid, and now it's all about the kid and it's not about me anymore.
Correct,
Yeah.
but the point is that a lot of women today, modern women, feminists, are
Yeah.
very selfish,
Okay.
and you're not even getting that.
Guys,
You're getting
thank
what
you
they
right,
want.
Thank you right
Yeah.
there. I love you guys. You're doing great. Get ready to party.
The issue with the woman in the red, and you see a lot of single moms do this. What they do is they paint every single mother as if she's the exception and they're all in high regard. And like the other single mother said, just because you have a child, that doesn't mean that's what the woman is all about. To men, yes, because you have to realize, if I'm a man with no children, I get with a woman with a child, I know that your child is your top priority, as it should be, because you're a mom. That's how parenting works. But you have to look at it from a man's perspective. From the man's perspective is, I'm dealing with a woman who I'm always going to fall number 2 to her child in that order. Why would I deal with that when I can go find a woman who doesn't have a child? I like the the conversation was level-headed, but it still shows that a lot of single mothers still have a disconnect from reality, and they can't come to the grips that your child is a detriment to another man. Nobody wants to say that because they're children. And again, none of the kids asked to be here. Let's be honest with it. If you come into the dating scene with a child, I'm divorced, I have a child, so this applies to me as well, that you come with baggage and the other person has to be willing to accept it. But hey, what the hell do I know? I'm just a weed head talking on YouTube. You guys let me know what you think after party in the comments. It's your Commander Theo Chuki.
Call me bitches.
Juice, better, squad. All out.
Excuse me, bitches?